plugged in and working?
We're good. Go, Tobe.
Good, we're live. All right, we're back at Hoagie's Garage. Appreciate everybody chiming in tonight. It's Chili Bowl night. It's Wild West Shootout night, so there's other things to do besides listen to us, but we're doing both. Well, I'm not listening to myself, I guess. But anyways, sponsors, as we normally run through them. Fulkins Brothers Truckings, for all they do for racing and for us. And I keep forgetting to mention that they do haul livestock.
Yep.
If you need something moved throughout the country, East Coast, West Coast.
They don't just help with racing.
No. They do have jobs. Give Trim a call at Fulkins Brothers Trucking. Houston Speedway, for all they do, too, for they put on a great show every Sunday night. That ain't that far away anymore, either. Mount Tabor Cabinetry with Chris Fissel. I didn't put his sweatshirt on tonight. It's chilly out again. Winter came back. Morning Sun Marketplace, also out in central Pennsylvania, with Rick and Sue Fritz. My Race Pass. If you don't have it, you got to get it. That's all you can say about it. It's got everything you need to know. S2F for start to finish, another streaming service. They cover the Power I, Port City every weekend. Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, be wiser, buy Kaiser. Heartland Hardware and Appliance out of Brandon, South Dakota, Hayward, and George, Iowa. Rapid Graphics right over here in Rock Rapids. Give Blake a call. Get your cars lettered, get signs made, whatever you need. Hawk Wings up in Jackson, Minnesota. They just got done with a big chassis clinic. Looks like they had a great turnout. I think they even had a surprise guest because David Gravel showed up. And I don't think they didn't know that when they were at our show.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool. Hero Haven, we just like to thank them for everything they do for the vets and the first responders, the trips they take them on, the whatever. They do a lot of things. And then, of course, Lumber Lounge and Garage. They got bench racing with Shane and Snow. They've been having some really good shows at the Chili Bowl. I think they're doing 2 a day. They got a morning show and an afternoon show.
Yeah, they kind of come on right before they go live racing. So yeah. I think it's at like 2:30.
2:30 roughly.
Yep.
Then they usually get a guest or two on there, and they have guests in the morning when they hash over the night before. Day old chili, they call it down there. And then they're in the Kaiser Wheels, brought them down a booth.
Yeah.
So they're all set up fancy like this year. He does have the red couch there, but I haven't seen him sit on it yet.
Yep.
But anyways, we should start our podcast.
Here we go. Hey, we're back at Hoagie's Garage, and we have Kyle Shipley on tonight. How we doing, Kyle?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I'm at the house watching the Chili Bowl. It'd be better if I was at the Chili Bowl, but hey, I got it on TV.
Yeah. Have you ever raced the Chili Bowl?
I have one time. We can talk about it, but I'm not so certain I want to talk about it. But hey, hold on. But before we get too far into it, I wish I had as many sponsors as you guys.
Well,
you guys must be making money hand over fist.
Oh, I'm thinking about retirement next month, but maybe not quite.
You should, because if you're retired, then you could go to more races.
Oh, trust me.
I told my wife, I said, we really need to go to the Chili Bowl next year. I keep talking
Have you ever
about
been?
it, and I said, we got to go. I said, even if we just go down Saturday morning, bum around Tulsa for Saturday, Sunday, whatever, and then go Monday, Tuesday, and then come home to go back to work, whatever, on Wednesday. But I said, we have to go down for a little bit of it.
Yeah. Well,
You really should. It is an absolute blast. I mean, the crowd interaction is just, I mean, the whole vibe in the building. I mean, about Thursday it starts to really pick up, and then Friday it's getting a little bit wild, and then Saturday, I mean, about C main time, after opening ceremonies, it just goes nuts.
Yeah.
The whole building is just insane.
Yeah.
I love Flow. They do a great job. Fantastic job. But there's just some things that the TV just does not capture, and that is the whole vibe and the aura inside the building. It is so much fun. I mean, the crowd interaction. I mean, if you don't have a good time there, then I don't know what to tell you. You're just miserable. You're miserable in life.
You might as well call the mortician.
Yeah.
And call the mortician and just end it all, because I'm telling you, it is a blast.
Well, we had Emin Hahn on a couple weeks ago too, and yeah, what a super nice guy. Just makes you want to go even more down there. But we've said it 100 times on this show. Flow, Dirt Vision, S2F, all of them are great to have because you can't get to all the races, but there's nothing like being there.
You know what? As much as I love them, and I S2F, I watch all of those. I have a subscription to all of those streaming services. And like you said, it's just not feasible to get to all of those.
No.
And what a great day and age that we live in where we can actually have access to those races where, I don't know, I'm just going to say 10 years ago, I'm throwing a number out there, 10 years ago, we would listen to Johnny Gibson calling the World of Outlaws over the radio, basically.
Yeah.
It was like and that was, heck, we were excited about that, but that wasn't as good as actually watching it, we live in a great day and age, and our sport, I feel like, is thriving, and I'm glad that we have these streaming services.
Yeah.
And, I'm not made of money, but I feel like the amount of money that they charge is totally reasonable.
Yeah.
And I pay that bill. I would pay that bill any day over paying a cable bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
I totally agree with
we
you
sit
there.
here in the garage. We got 355s on the wall, so we, inevitably there's always two A mains start at the exact same time. But
I feel like the A mains tend to work out where they're kind of like back to back for me, and I'm usually a little bit of a pessimist when it comes to that, but I've even been saying lately, I'm like, man, I love the way the timing works out. It's been, I mainly only watch sprint cars too, so I'm not watching.
Yep.
I do watch a little bit of late models, but most of the sprint car races, they seem to be staggered just right.
Yep.
So maybe I'm just fortunate.
Yep.
So before we go any further, we should give Steve a shout out, because that's who hooked us up with this phone number with Kyle. How do you say
Steve
Steve's
is the
last
man.
name before I butcher it?
He's never told me, but it's Porzio.
I thought I was going that route. I was really close to that, but I'm impressed. But
Steve is the man.
And I think we'll have to have him on the show sometime.
You should have Steve on the show. He is a loyal listener to you guys.
Yes. And we love that.
You know,
For a couple knuckleheads that don't know anything, we love having loyal guys to us.
Well, I don't know how old you guys are, but I feel like you guys are about in the same age range, so I'm sure you guys kind of connect in that sense. You have Fulkins Brothers. Is it Fulkins Brothers?
Yep.
Hauling livestock. Well, Steve does a lot of livestock. So no, you guys are awesome. Steve loves the heck out of you guys. I know that he's an avid listener. I don't think he's missed one. I don't think he's missed one podcast.
Yeah,
I know he said at the sale barn he sees some of Fulkins Brothers trucks down there once in a while, he said. So
yeah.
He does. Yes, he does. No, Steve is my number one supporter, and if it weren't for Steve, I don't think that I would be on. I'm going to call it the big stage. I mean, I feel like we've had some success. I don't want to say I've set the world on fire by any means. But if it weren't for Steve, I wouldn't have the success that I have had. He has upped my program like nobody's business. He saved me from damn near selling everything and saying, okay, I just don't have it. I'm done with it. And, hey, I gave it a good shot, so I'm done. No, he's been awesome. Him, and his daughter, Sarah. So they actually live in Kansas.
Yep.
And they bought a house, in Bedford, Indiana, but their primary location is in Kansas. And they come out to Indiana to watch the racing because they're fans of non-wing sprint car racing through and through. And I can't say enough about them. I feel like they are going to be lifelong supporters or career long or lifelong friends at that.
Yep.
They are the best. And Steve, I don't know how much you guys have conversed with Steve back and forth, but Steve is probably one of the funniest people I've ever met. And I don't mean like funny looking or anything like that. I mean, like if you listen to him, you have to listen close, but he says some of the funniest things. I mean, you'll be cracking up. You'll be laughing.
One-liners, you're saying.
Oh, constantly. I mean, it's just, in fact, they're all those one-liners where it takes you a second to go, wait,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
like you're
oh, he
walking
got
away
me.
and then you start laughing.
Yes, exactly. You have to really, you got to really pay attention to what he's saying. But man, it's like I said, it's just constant.
Yeah, well, that's
So no,
awesome.
he really has a way with his words. No, he's one of the best dudes I've ever met in my life.
Just as a reminder, everybody, we have Kyle Shipley on. Kyle, why don't you quick tell us about yourself? What do you do for work? I assume you work. And then after
Family,
that,
whatever, and then how'd you get started?
Okay, well, yeah. So I'd love to tell you that I'm a professional race car driver by trade, but unfortunately, that's not the case. I'd love to be, but no, I'm a new home construction builder. So basically, I oversee projects. I work for Old Town Design Group, and they do custom homes, semi-custom homes, and townhomes. So I'm over the townhomes. The townhomes are basically semi-custom, if you will. They're in Carmel and Westfield, Indiana, which are probably the most sought out places to live in Indiana. And they are not the cheapest by any means because the quality is in them.
Cheap always best when you're building something.
Yeah, cheap. Yeah. Um, so that's what I do for a living, and I see everything from dealing with the clients. I mean, I'm the face to the client. If they think that the paint needs to look a little bit better, well, I have to hear it from them, and I've got to take their phone calls on the weekends when they're walking their house and decide that they're going to tell me what they think looks good and what doesn't look good. I don't always take their phone calls, especially on Saturdays, or Fridays for that matter. And Old Town may or may not know this, but I do cut out a little bit early on Fridays so that I can get down to Bloomington Speedway or wherever we may be racing on Friday.
You're a racer by profession, you said, so.
Yeah, I actually drive the truck and trailer to work. I've got a work truck that I have to go to work to pick it up. But Carmel, Indiana is pretty built out, if you will. Like there's not a lot of room for anything, let alone a truck and trailer. And so I get a little bit creative with my parking spaces when I get to work. And I try to park far enough away that nobody really sees me. That way I can cut out early and then nobody really notices. But so hopefully nobody from Old Town is listening to this. But no, so that's what I do for a living. Basically see a house from dirt to close with the clients. And then how I got started in racing is my dad was always he was a gearhead. He had hot rods in the 70s and whatnot, building motors and cars and Chevelles or you name it. He was working on them in drag racing, if you will. And I was not born in the 70s. I just caught the last few months of the 80s. So my dad started his family. My brother, let me back up just a little bit. So, my dad, one of my dad's best friends, he was some sort of salesman of some sort. And he had to drive through South Mountain to one of his clients, and South Mountain, is obviously south of Phoenix. Phoenix is a valley. And, so the Southern Mountain, if you will, there was a quarter midget racetrack, and he just so happened to be driving by, and my dad's best friend, he was a big race fan also. He went to Manzanita all the time. My dad went to Manzanita from the 70s till death, if you will, or till it closed down. So anyways, he was driving by and he saw that there was quarter midgets racing. He didn't know they were called quarter midgets at the time. And, he swung in there and there was a bunch of kids racing. It was a Sunday. And, he called my dad and he said, man, I really think that you should get your kids into this. He's like, seriously, come out with me next Sunday. I found out they race every Sunday, and I think you really ought to check it out. Well, that next Sunday, my dad went down there, and he left with a quarter midget for my brother.
Oh my gosh!
One race and he come home with one.
One race and he came home with one. Yep, absolutely.
So you were
in
how
fact,
old
that
at this
car,
point then?
well, I would have been 2 years old. So that car was not for me. That one was for my brother because I wasn't old enough.
Okay.
You had to be 4. They were transitioning from the age of 4 to 5 when I started. And, so my brother got a few years in, and my brother started to move up through the ranks, and then it was time for a newer, updated car because the one my dad bought, well, it was old. Like it had like a bolt-on cage, like literally kind of like how cage carts bolt on, how they're cage bolt on, which I'm pretty sure was from like, I'm sure somebody's listening, probably from Steve's day, because Steve Porzio actually raced quarter midgets like in the 60s. Heck, I don't know this car. It was a Curtis chassis. Curtis was like a big chassis manufacturer back in the day, for quarter midgets. But, anyway, so I had become of age to race. And then my brother was kind of, like I said, he was moving up through the levels that quarter midgets have. And, my dad bought him a newer, updated chassis. And then I got my brother's car, and it was pretty cool because, me and my brother had these well, I got my brother's hand-me-down, of course. It was basically a motocross helmet, and then we had the Dale Earnhardt goggles.
Okay.
And that's what I raced with.
Old school there.
Yeah. Oh, that was so cool. I mean, if I didn't race dirt, I would still probably, well, I don't know if I'd I'd probably want a full face helmet, but man, wouldn't that be cool to like bring that back, you know?
Yeah. Tear-offs on goggles.
Yep.
Yeah, they probably don't. I'm sure Racing Optics does not make tear-offs for those.
I'm pretty sure you get tear-offs for goggles, though. Them guys that race in dirt have to do something when they're...
Well, yeah, I mean, the motocross guys have goggles, so maybe I could switch up and just get like some motocross goggles or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there, but... Yeah, so anyways, we raced quarter midgets, and we raced them heavily. And my dad spent every last dollar he had on them. And so kind of fast forward, my brother moved up to 250cc mini sprints, and they raced Saturday nights, and then I'd go race with quarter midgets on Sundays. And then I became of age to race a mini sprint, and my dad bought me a mini sprint. Oh, it was cool. My first mini sprint, man, you guys would like this. So we bought it from a dairy farmer out of California. I'm kind of getting a little bit off
We don't
task here, but
we don't care.
I didn't think you did. Okay. So we bought it from a dairy farmer in California. So I'm 14 years old. And we drove to California, picked it up, and, you know, we saw pictures of it and stuff, but then we got there and they had a pair of, well, I'm going to say like, if you were to draw a pair of boobs with your fingers, because they were dairy farmers, you know, so it was kind of cool. So we left that on there. And then, the color scheme was purple and orange, which was like the Phoenix Suns. So I was like, man, we're going to leave it. And it was a flame job. It was cool. So, yeah, no, my dad bought me the best of the best engine at the time, which, back then it was $3,500 for the best of the best. Now I think they're up to 20 plus for the best of the best engines.
Yep.
But anyway, so then, so I raced 600s. My brother was racing 600s. And, then COVID happened, or I'm sorry, not COVID, 2008, when the recession happened. And my dad was a bricklayer. So by that trade, you can tell he wasn't a rich man by any means.
Yep.
And
man, though.
he kind of sat me and my brother down and said, boys, I fulfilled my promise, which the promise was, you guys do your absolute best in school and get me straight A's. A's and B's is what we had to have to race.
Okay.
He said, I fulfilled my promise. I've taken you as far as I can possibly go financially. He said, I'm out of work. Like there's nowhere to work. I cannot work right now. So you guys are going to be on your own. And, so, There was a really nice gentleman that we raced against, um, and he offered me a ride. Actually, I got 2 rides, and I'm still am so grateful for that, and it kind of kept me afloat. I did go a year or 2 off, just because I didn't have anything, so that kind of sucked. So I did that till 2010, I think it was 2011. And then I decided, man, I've got to start making some money. I was working at Discount Tire, just busting tires, and they had capped me out at $12 an hour, which $12 an hour back, even to, obviously today is not.
Yeah. Well,
You're not gonna be able to field a sprint car team on that.
no, no.
So I wanted to be a lineman, and I took a job out of state, and I moved to Maryland. And while I was in Maryland, by the way, I did go to like Williams Grove and Lincoln Speedway,
Yep.
because they were right down. They were an hour and a half away or so. So I'd go there on Friday and Saturday nights. But so I did that for about a year, and then I moved back home, and I got on with the union to be a lineman. It's the lower level of being a lineman, if you will, and I got this job that paid double time. So I saved and I saved and I saved. I was living with my mom, and so I bought myself a mini sprint, and I got the bug, and things were good. I did that for I think a year, so I kept popping motors and things weren't good. So my brother was racing sprint cars. He got a ride in basically a lower level sprint car, if you will, a spec class. And that guy decided he was going to sell out. Well, I wound up buying his complete race car. The only spares it came with was one extra right rear wheel. So I showed up to the racetrack. I didn't even have a wheel wrench. I didn't have stagger options. I didn't have anything. And I had the mentality of, this is the coolest damn thing. I've always wanted to race a freaking sprint car, and here I am racing a sprint car. I don't even care about stagger options. I don't care how the damn thing is set up. We're going to race and we're going to have a good time. Well, we started out pretty decent, and then got a little bit more competitive, and before you know it, I was all in. And so I had raced, so that was a flat tappet cam class, so like it didn't turn as many RPMs and whatnot. And then they also have the roller cam class, which would be like your ASCS national engines, if you will. So I did race a couple races with one of those, but I was like, man, if I don't go to Indiana, I'm gonna have that. I'll just always regret it, or I'll say, what could have been? I don't want to be 55 years old saying what could have been, what could have happened? Would I have made it? Would I not have made it? I take that back. I ran some 410 races. There was a guy, they call him the doctor, Dr. John. He bought a 410, and I sold my house about the time that COVID happened. So this was during COVID. And he said, hey man, I'm moving to New York, where he's from. He said, I need to get rid of this engine, which we hadn't run it yet. He said, I'll sell it to you for what I got into it. Well, I finally had some money in my pocket, right? And I'm like, man, I have to take this opportunity. I probably shouldn't spend this money, but I'm going to. So I did. And then I started racing 410s when I moved out to Indiana. I'd raced, like I said, a handful of times, in Arizona with a 410, but not enough to like really know what I was doing, if you will. And so I moved to Indiana. I bought a house. I lived in my race trailer for the first 3.5 months I was here. I didn't know anybody. And, it's not that I was homeless or didn't have the money to like pay rent or anything. I just didn't really know anybody. So I lived in the race trailer. But yeah, so then I bought a house, and the stipulation is that it had to have a pole barn, which I'd love to have a bigger one, but who wouldn't, right?
You're never big enough.
And, no. So yeah, then we went to Brownstown. That was my first race when I actually lived in Indiana. And just hit the ground running. So now I'm racing 410 non-wing sprint cars, which, man, I really wish that the non-wing stuff paid more like the wing stuff,
Yeah.
or, I almost feel like the non-wing stuff is almost looked at as it's like a notch below the wing stuff, which is unfortunate because I've never ran a wing car, but I feel like it does take bigger balls to race a non-wing car, but that's neither here nor there. It's not my opinion.
They
It matters.
all have to have pretty big balls to be racing them sprint cars, period, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got 410. It doesn't really matter in my book, but yep.
Balls and some stupidity.
Well, I wasn't going to say that part, but...
But no,
yeah, like you said, it's just
so that's how I landed here.
The wingless stuff, it's got its fan base, but it's not as big as the wing stuff, because it was, 5 years ago they had the USAC midgets at Huset's?
Yes.
Awesome shows. I mean, that's some of the best racing I've seen, and nobody came.
Oh, crowd.
I watched that. I watched that on, I'm sure it was Flow.
Yep.
Pretty disappointing because that should have been huge, and they were paying big money too.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the perfect track.
For a midget, yeah.
It's the perfect track.
You guys bring up Huset's. I would love it if USAC would take the sprint cars there. Obviously, I know why they don't go.
Yeah.
And that sucks because that is an awesome racetrack. I watch it on TV, and I just think, I think it would cater to me.
Are you as impressed
or at least me personally.
Are you as impressed with the push truck drivers at Huset's as I am, or not?
Hey, they get it done. They definitely get it done.
You can tell who actually pushes at Huset's. It's not me.
One of you guys, not both of you, but one of you does.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, no, I actually watch Huset's on Sundays, and I think, man, I don't know, like, is the dirt kind of like Hobstaw, where it looks like it's better than what it is? I don't know, but I think it would be a blast to go to Huset's. Again, like I said, I wish that USAC would go back.
Yep.
I think if it were promoted right, and I'm not saying that the previous races weren't promoted right. In fact, I like the way that they promoted them. And I don't know the answer to it, but if they were promoted, I don't want to say properly is not the right word, because like I said, they were promoted properly. I just feel like if that crowd would give it a shot.
It was a little weird because it wasn't Huset's track. It was their track, but they weren't running the show. Was it Wood?
Yeah, it might have been. I don't know.
It was Matt Wood.
He rented it and had to promote everything himself. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the whole scenario, but I mean, like Tobe said, the races were unbelievable. I mean, they're so fun to watch. But
it's unfortunate.
I just have to say one thing here. We used to have a friend out in Pennsylvania by the name of Rick Fritz, and he just made the comment that all but the propane guy is. I'm assuming he's referring to the push trucks on that one. So we used to have a good friend in Pennsylvania that I don't know about anymore. So
you used to have a good friend. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's funny. You mentioned that Matt Wood promoted that race. I don't know if you know it or not. Well, I didn't say it yet, but I did work for Matt Wood when his son Cole was racing, when they were running the ASCS National Tour.
Okay.
My dad was, I got fired from my job because I flipped their water truck. Not my fault, and I can give you guys the excuse, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the water truck flipped.
Yeah.
It was overfilled. On a dirt road. But anyways.
Yep, edge of the road gives away. Down the embankment you go.
You nailed it. You literally nailed it. Yep. So anyways, I was out of a job, and my dad was sick. My dad was basically passing away, if you will, and my dad kept on me about getting a job, and Matt Wood was hiring. So I knew somebody that knew him, and they kind of got me the in, and I went to go work for him, which didn't last all that long. But Yeah, no, I got to go on, oh, I don't know, like probably the last quarter of the ASCS national tour with them. So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty good experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't do anything to decrease the racing bug in your system. That's for sure.
No, it does not. That was that interim I was telling you about where I had moved back from Maryland, and I wasn't racing. And I was like, all right, well, hey, this will be about as good as it can get. At least I
Yeah.
can go hit all these racetracks, you know.
Hell of a learning experience.
Oh gosh, yeah, no, that's back like when Brad Loyette was racing ASCS National. There was a lot of big names racing it back then. Not that there's not now, but
Yeah.
I feel like ASCS National was a lot more well respected. Not that it's not respected today, but it was that was the world of outlaws, just 360s, if you will.
Sure. Yep. Yep.
What? So you've been in a lot of different cars. Your like first car, what number was on your car, and is there a good story of why it was that number?
Yeah. So my first sprint car was number 99, and that was kind of just like uh my brother's number, and then I don't know. I just stuck with 99. I like 99. So I crashed that sprint car, and I bought a used chassis with the body and everything, and it was, had the lettering on it and whatnot. And the number on it was like 04G. And there's a guy, he's actually been racing out at Houston's with you guys this past year, Alex Pettis. He lives in Arizona, and so I had sent Alex a text or something, and he knew the chassis. And I don't know if you guys know Alex or if you've gotten a chance to know Alex, but he's another funny one.
Did we get him on yet?
He's hilarious.
We got
I got his
his
number. I didn't honestly know that's how you said his last name.
Oh yeah, yep. So Pettis, yep.
I don't remember that.
I
We
mean,
did get him on the show, but anyways.
oh, he is hilarious. So I sent him a picture of the car or something. I said, man, I got the car together. I don't have time to get vinyl and change the numbers. And so he said, well, why don't you just peel that 4 off of there and make it 0G, and then on the race receiver, then they're going to call you OG.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, all right. Hey, I'm okay with that. So, I don't really find it all that funny anymore, but a lot of people do like it. So the OG just stuck. It stuck, and everybody likes it, and so I've stuck with OG. I was on the 4U. There's kind of a story behind that one, but that was more or less the guy that owned that car, Alan Howard. That was his number, and he had a story behind it. I can't really remember. It's kind of like I don't know. It was like a 4U, like this is 4U or something like that. So, it's kind of weird how both of those numbers kind of have stories behind them, if you will, or they're unique numbers, but yeah, so that's how the OG came about anyways.
That's
Probably
cool.
probably better you got rid of the 99, because when you do tip them over, then they don't know if it's the 99 or the 66 car that's tipped over. So it's harder on the announcers.
If you're a good announcer, then you'll know if that car's upside down or not, and you'll know what number it is.
Here we got a comment from, I'm going to murderize this. I apologize right away. Rafael Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
Mission
Yeah,
Kyle
yep,
Shipley.
Rafael.
I need to come see your race this year if possible. So
Yeah, no, that guy is awesome. He was a photographer in Arizona.
okay.
He actually moved to New York also, just like Dr. John did. Many years before him, but that dude was a big Kyle Shipley supporter. Is a Kyle Shipley supporter and big fan. Really good dude.
There's a few places in this world that I don't even really care to go visit. And first of all, you got to realize Leicester is 250 people, not 250,000, 250 people. And
Right. Okay.
New York.
That's the way I like them.
Yeah.
New York is, I don't even need to be in that state. So I'm perfectly fine right here. So,
Well, I can tell you that when you think of New York, you're thinking of New York City.
Yep.
And New York is not all New York City. New York is actually a lot like Pennsylvania, if you will.
Yep. Get out
Other
of town.
than when you
It's
get to
pretty.
the city. Yeah, it's not all New York City. But I understand. Yeah, I that's probably not a place that I care to visit either.
No. No.
There's a lot of other racetracks I'd rather go to than anywhere in New York.
I've been getting around a little more the last couple of years, but Steve's been taking me places. And I drive a little on his motorhome, but he always is nice enough to give me the open road. And we get to the big cities, and he's usually driving then. So
That's the perfect time because that's when all the junctions happen and you've got to change freeways or highways, whatever you want to call them. And the one I don't like the most is St. Louis because when you got the truck and trailer, it's like I'm following Google Maps and I'm following the signs and I've been pretty good so far. I haven't really missed any turns, but the lanes get super tight. If the speed limit says 35, I'm doing 25 because I don't want to miss my turn.
Yep. The last trip we went to Vegas last spring, and I drove across South Dakota, so that was pretty easy too.
You're a smart man.
Yeah.
You're a smart man.
Steve knows better than having me drive through something big. I wasn't driving in Vegas much or anything when we got there, but
so
got another gentleman commented in quick. Again, apologizing for the last name. I can say the first one. That's Dan. Then it's Getmeyer, maybe.
Oh yeah, I met him on the airplane.
Okay. Well, hey Kyle, can't wait to see you at Kokomo and Putnamville this year. It was cool watching you on flow at Calistoga.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, a little story about that. So, when I met Dan, let me think here. So, I hadn't moved to Indiana yet. So, Dr. John had rented an engine from, oh gosh, I can't remember his name. One of the local engine builders around here. Really good engine. And so he paid for 7 races. Well, then COVID happened and then everything shut down.
Yep.
So here I am. I've got this guy's engine. I've got like 3 or 4 nights on it. And I still have like, whatever it was, 3 or 4 more left. So I feel like I'm just holding his engine hostage. Well, they started racing in Indiana. And I'm thinking, well, this dude probably wants to run his engine out so he can make some money or whatever he's going to do with it, you know? So I thought, okay, we're not racing in Indiana or in Arizona. SmackDown's happening. Why don't I just like get my cars ready and we'll go down. We'll drive to SmackDown. I mean, that's a haul, but let's go.
Got a race.
Got a race. Yeah. What are we doing here? We're just twiddling our thumbs. And, that was about the time I was sitting on the couch watching Flow and I thought, if I don't move now, I never will. So, I rounded up a little bit of sponsorship, some gas money and whatnot, took the days off from work, and I thought I would go to Kokomo and see what I was made of, and found out that I wasn't. I had a lot to learn, but no. So and then I would use up those races on the engine, and then I would pull it out after the race, and give it back to them. But so no, I'm sorry, that wasn't that trip. That was that Kokomo trip is when I decided I'm moving back here. Okay. So I decided I was going to move back here after that. And then, so plane tickets were like $100 each way. I'm thinking, well, shoot, I spent that in diesel just to get to and from the racetrack in Arizona, you know, like, yeah. So what's a plane ticket, you know? And, so I had made friends with, with Brandon Maddox back here. And I asked him if I could keep my stuff at his house, right after SmackDown. And he was like, yeah, man, absolutely. So he let me keep my stuff at his house. And then, I flew out here and I got my stuff ready. I flew out on like a Wednesday because I wanted to go job hunting. And I was gonna race either Bloomington on Friday or I was gonna go to the USAC show at Gas City on Friday. And so I got a phone call from a builder and they said they wanted to meet with me before as I was walking off the plane, because I had sent in some info that, hey, I was searching. So, I met up with them and I interviewed and it went well. And they said, can you come back tomorrow? We want to talk to you some more. And I said, yeah, I can. So I came back on Thursday and they said, can you come back again on Friday? We want to talk to you a little bit more. And so I said, yeah, I can certainly do that. Well, I brought the truck and trailer with me to the interview on Friday. They offered me the job. I didn't want to take it because of how much the money they were offering, but I wound up taking it anyways. And
offering you too much, I assume you didn't want that much.
Oh, yeah, it was more than I could handle. So I was actually talking with Alex Pettis, and I told him, man, this interview ran till whatever time it was. I'm like, I'm going to be cutting it close on time if I'm going to go to Bloomington. And he said, just go to Gas City because you got way less chance of junking your stuff at Gas City. Well, lo and behold, in the heat race, I don't even know how I did it. I thought I had like a car length between me and the guy in front of me, and I'm in like last place in the heat race with like 2 laps in, and I just drive over this dude's right rear. And I went for the ride of my life. I mean, I was probably, there's pictures of it, and it feels like I'm 15 feet in the air. I mean, I went for the ride of my life. I was seeing stars, and there I was all by myself. Like, I didn't have any like dedicated help or anything, and I had a completely destroyed race car. I was put next to Brandon Maddox, and his guys kind of helped me get my stuff rollable to get it inside the trailer at least. And so yeah, I scratched the rest of the weekend, but so I was flying home. I think it was Sunday, and I met Dan, the guy that commented there, and he was sitting next to me on the airplane, and we got to talk racing all the way back to Phoenix. So it was kind of cool.
Makes for a good.
I got to know Dan, and yeah, so we kind of built that relationship. So yeah, it's been pretty cool. And I see him a handful of times a year when he can get out and get to the races. He's definitely a follower, that's for sure.
That's awesome.
It's always good to have. Rick commented again. Our good buddy Rick from Pennsylvania.
Oh, now you changed tone already.
Well, he ain't trash talking.
Oh boy, he's on it again.
Yeah, but he said his wife Sue was from upstate New York, not New York City. She graduated or had 14 kids in her graduating class.
Oh, that's pretty small.
That's pretty small.
Yeah.
So it's not all
like
the
a
city
class.
life, bud, is what he's trying to tell us.
Yeah.
That's like half of a classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite tracks that you race on?
You know, I think I would say my favorite racetrack, it's like my go-to, is Putnamville, so Lincoln Park Speedway. I just feel like that track is racy no matter what the track conditions are, and you're going to get a different racetrack every single night. Whereas most of the other racetracks, you for the most part know what you're going to get, or depending on weather, you kind of know what you're going to get, you know. And Lincoln Park Speedway, you don't ever know what you're going to get, but I love the curve that Putnamville builds up, and I've grown to like Kokomo. So I didn't like Kokomo for the longest time because I feel like turn 1 at Kokomo, if you're going to run the top, the car is not going to turn. I mean, you have to drive it in so deep. It's like the car will not turn that fast. Like, no matter how fast I turn my hands, the car's not going to turn. Turns out that's actually not the case because I finally sacked up and I did it, but it took me about 2.5 years or so, before I did do it. In fact, the first time that I was ripping the top was in a heat race at a USAC show, and we were going pretty good. I don't know. I'm going to say we were in 3rd. So, I mean, we're in a transfer spot and things are okay. Like, I'm okay with it and I'm comfortable. My crew chief, Dave Anderson, he walks out on the racetrack. Well, not quite on the racetrack, but basically the exit is in turn 1 at Kokomo. and he walks out and he throws his hands below his knees, telling me to sack up. And I'm like, dude, I can't go any harder than this. That's as hard as I can go. I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm definitely going to plug in the fence if you want me to go any harder. But yeah, so he's a character in itself also. I was really hoping that Flow Racing would have caught that, but they didn't. I went back. I had to go back and watch the replay that night
yeah, just in
to
case.
see if they caught that, and they didn't.
Yep.
Flow disappointed me. But so Putnamville, Kokomo has really grown on me. I wish that we raced at Kokomo a little bit more often. They don't have a ton of races there.
Yeah.
But another one that I didn't think I would like, and I stayed away from it for a while because I didn't feel as though I was ready. But first night there, I felt like we were definitely competitive, is Lawrenceburg.
Oh,
Okay.
Everybody talked about it takes such big balls to run Lawrenceburg. You got to nut up if you don't have testicles. And dude, I went there and I was like ripping the lip, and I thought, and now not to say that it can't bite you, and I have flipped at Lawrenceburg, but I love that place. It races so good. You can throw sliders. Like, you can throw a slider from a mile away, kind of slow the guy in front of you's race down. And whether he passes you back or not, you know, I just feel like it races so good. And it's just, yeah, they prep the track really good. Now, once in a while it does get a little bit rough and it gets a little sketchy, and that's when it takes some nuts. But, yeah, no, I really, really like Lawrenceburg. Lawrenceburg, I would say that Putnamville is my go-to, but Lawrenceburg is one that I look forward to.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yep. Understandable. Dan commented again too. He said, "Remember the plane ride? Your eyes were little bloodshot, so you were suffering a little red eye."
I told you guys I went for a ride.
He said he couldn't hardly believe you were walking after that ride.
Yeah, well, he was at Gas City that night that I flipped.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the irony that we sat together on the airplane and stuff.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was a big ride, and obviously Dan's
Yep. He's agreeing
contesting
with
to
you.
that.
Then you got Braden Furr. He says you should be at the Chili Bowl, Kyle, with an LOL on the end of that one. So that must be something that you know.
Yeah, if he would supply the funds to go run a chili bowl car like a good one, then we would probably be there.
Well,
So
there you go, Braden. You better buy some lottery tickets or something then.
Are you saying the
Yeah.
last time you went, it was more like, is it Robert Bell's?
Robert Bell? Yeah.
I
Nobody
wouldn't.
Robert Bell.
All right, I'll tell you about my chili bowl experience. So
Well, you don't have to. It's all Braden's fault if you do, though, because he brought it up.
okay, so Lifestyle Homes, it's on the 17 GP.
Okay.
I actually brought him to Indiana. That was actually my sponsorship. Michael Dutcher flat out stole him from me, and in fact, I hope that Michael Dutcher's listening. I want him to hear that. Not that that's a secret by any means that he wouldn't know that, but he literally stole him from me. So I hadn't even raced since I moved to Indiana, and it was that winter. And there was some talks about doing the Chili Bowl, and there was a decent ride that came up for sale or for rent. And Lifestyle Homes guy said, "Hey, yeah, no, I think we should do it." And I was like, "Hell yeah, dude, let's do it. That sounds like a blast." So, not a top ride, but a decent one. You know, it was just a decent ride.
Might not have been a Keith Coons car or a...
It was far from Keith Coons, but they said that they had a Toyota, which I came to find out was like an old Toyota. Nothing special by any means, but you know, we paid the $8,500, $6,000 plus the $2,500 crash deposit. And that was probably the biggest waste of $8,500 that I'd ever seen go to the wayside. Thank God I didn't spend the money, but, so I had to work because if I went and raced the Chili Bowl today, I would have to do the same exact scenario. So when I raced there, they did practice on Monday, and then they also raced on Monday, right?
Yep.
So I flew out on Sunday. I put my seat in the car, and I practiced on Monday. And during practice, I told you only got one session then. And I told the guys, that owned the car, I said, man, this thing feels like a two-stroke where it has like this power band, but it's at like different RPMs. So I don't know when it's going to like kick off. Like it's just going to, it lights up, but it's just like it's really unpredictable. And so they're like, oh, you're inexperienced in a midget, which I've ran a midget a handful of times, but nothing like super competitive, especially on that level. And I thought, okay, I mean, I got to get my throttle control down or something, like, well, I'll get it figured out. So then we hot lap on Monday night, and I was like, man, it still is like, it's all over the place. I can't figure out when it's going to light up. So we made it to a qualifier. So we ran the heat race. We squeaked in and made a qualifier. In fact, that same exact car tonight, it raced tonight and it squeaked into a qualifier. It was the last car to make a qualifier. So it's kind of ironic, but anyways, so we squeaked into a qualifier and we're like putting around. Everybody's getting fired off, and they told us on the receiver, hey, get lined up. So I was like, okay, well now we have a curb because I hadn't got to run the curb yet. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to go test the curb and see what it feels like. And so I'm catching up to the field and I go up to the top and I'm like kind of getting ginger into the curb. Like I'm not plowing it. I just want to kind of get a feel for it. Well, right about the time that I hit the curb,
the motor
hit that power band and it went, lit up.
Wheelied up.
And I did a big old wheelie and it kind of like turned around and I went on my lid and we hadn't even gone green yet.
Yep.
And it bent the frame, bent some shocks and bent a handful of stuff. I didn't get to continue on and I could not get out of that building fast enough. I was so embarrassed. I mean, and so anyways, I still thought there's no way this is me. There's no way this is me. So we got it back to the trailer. The main fuel line that goes into the fuel pump was loose. And those guys tried to tell me that the flip caused it to come loose.
Oh.
And I thought, you know what? I'm glad I'm not paying for this because if I was paying for this, all hell would be breaking loose.
Yeah. So what?
So it was horrible.
And then when it would say not be sucking air is when your power band would come in, more or less. So
correct.
You were running,
and it makes sense where it was, and which makes sense why it was on all different RPMs that would just come alive.
Yeah,
so
whenever the O-ring would make contact and seal out, then the thing would run like hell again.
That's exactly it. Once it would seal up, then it would run good.
Yep.
Yeah. So I flew back for Saturday. But I didn't even race the car because I had already spent the crash deposit.
Yep.
And I said, there's really no reason to go out for the J main. And I was pretty much sour and didn't really even care to, I only went back on Saturday just to hang out with people. Other than that, there was really no reason for me to be there.
I think I've seen somebody do the same thing already this year in one of the races.
I feel like somebody did that at the shootout for some. I want to say it was a shootout.
But I've seen it.
No, you might be right, but I feel like it was a shootout.
Ain't even taking the green. Jody Rosenboom, he lives just down the road from us here. He's got 5 cars down there, I think. And Beeston was driving his car last night. And you got to have luck down there. Yeah. And he didn't. He got involved in every crash.
Beeson season.
Yep.
It's Beeson season, and he had no luck.
No. He did make the A yet, but then he got caught up in the wreck of the A again, had to go to the back, and he had well, it wasn't horrible, but it could have been so much better for him, but it just...
But for him to make the feature was unbelievable because that was a long ways to go.
Yeah, well, he run the D, right? He started in the D.
Was it the D or the C that he started? I know he came on... No, yeah, he did run the D.
And then he had to come from the back of the C and the back of the B, and then he had to go to the back of the A.
I thought his chili bowl was over. I thought he might as well just park it and be done with it.
Yeah, but now
he proved that to be wrong.
Now he's in the C, I think it is, on Saturday.
Which puts you into opening ceremonies. I feel like if you go there and you're in your driver's suit for opening ceremonies, that's successful. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all want to be in the A main, but you've done something if you make it to the C main. If you're in your driver's suit before openings or at opening ceremonies, then you've done something.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
Because there's over 400 cars there this year.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's insane.
if you can make her to the final 24, I'd call it a hell of a year or a hell of an event.
Well, a hell of a beginning of the year, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one heck of an event for sure.
We don't want to keep you all night. We'll get you back on again because I have a feeling there's more stories to learn. But I want to ask one.
I've got stories for days.
That Steve brought up. Something
boy.
about yeah. Well, I'm just warning you. Something about
This is scary.
a fairly hard crash at the Josh Burton Memorial.
Oh yeah.
And you were knocked out, and your shoulder and ribs were messed up, and something happened in the ER.
Well, Bloomington Speedway changed ownership recently, or promoters, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's ownership, whatever it is. But the guys that took it over, they're trying. I mean, they're doing the best they can. They have good intentions. It just didn't quite work out well. But anyways, it had rained like all week, and they sealed over the track, which was fine. But we basically had like no racetrack for qualifying. And I was going through like a transition phase where there was a guy that was part owner of my car. He decided he wanted to get out, and I had to put a car together to take his stuff off of his car. There was just so many moving parts all at once, right? Pretty early on in the season. And so I talked to Jerry. Well, actually, Dave, my crew chief, he talked to Jerry and he said, "Hey, what do you think about putting Kyle in your car for the Burton Memorial?" Well, Jerry Burton he's like the main, it's the Josh Burton Memorial, which I'm sure you guys know who Josh Burton is.
Yep.
So I was going to get to drive Jerry Burton's car, Josh's car, if you will. And I thought, dude, how cool is that? And it still is the coolest thing ever that I got to do that. And if you'd asked me this 5 years ago, I would have said there's no way I'd even ever have the chance to get in the Burton car. So that was like one of the coolest things. Probably one of the that is definitely a highlight of my racing career, is getting in that car. And I've gotten to know Jerry since then, and he's the coolest dude there is, man. He's so funny. But, so yeah, that night, qualifying was just weird. And I thought we were kind of fast, actually. You had to like hug the bottom and just go nowhere. But I thought we were fast compared to all the guys around me. Like, I feel like we reeled in Baloo, and he went like second quick. I feel like every single lap we reeled him in because we do group qualifying, you know?
Yep.
I felt like we reeled him in every single lap, but apparently we were fifth quick. Well, that put us out of the invert. And then they went and reworked the track for the heat race, and it was just locked down. So where you finish is where you started, and I've gotten to get a wrap for running the top and the top only. And so everybody went to the bottom, and I started fifth, and I was like, well, I'm not going to pass anybody. You have to be, we'll say top 3 or 4 to make it into the feature. And so I went to the top. I mean, I didn't have an option. It's either we're going to be in a B or we're going to be in the B.
Yep.
So I went to the top, and we got passed, and whatever it is, what it is. And so we actually went up in the C main. It was a 20-car lap. Or no, I'm sorry. The C main, I don't know how many laps the C main was, but the B main, I transferred out of the C into the B. It was a 10-lap B main with 20 cars in it.
Whew, that's a
and I was starting 20th. And Dave, my crew chief, said, send it. You're going to have to send it because, I mean, you don't have any time.
You got to pass 2 cars a lap just about to win.
Yes, sir.
Get in the top 4 to transfer, probably.
Yeah, you're going to be top. I think it was top 4 to transfer. So, I mean, obviously, I'm going to be smart. I'm not just going to go out there and drive through everybody and everything. And so we took the green flag, and I kind of like fiddle farted around with the throttle, getting through 1 and 2. And I was like, okay, we're good. Like, we got a good car. Car's better, like even better than it was in the C. Like, we're fast. And, Jordan Kinzer went up to the very top, and I went right through the middle, and I cut past him and the guy that was below him. And I was like, all right, like we might actually have a shot at this. Like, if we can do this every lap, we're going to be good. And right when I was in the middle of both of them, and all of a sudden I felt the car just take flight. And what happened is, there were some guys that were like checking up on the very bottom, because at Bloomington, run the bottom, you just got, they just go so slow around the bottom. Well, they were running into each other, kind of like that domino effect. Well, yeah. Carson Garrett, I was next to, and Carson Garrett saw what was happening, and he hung a right. And I had nowhere. I mean,
you were at the right.
Yeah, I was at the right. He didn't know I was there. And I took flight, and I don't remember anything after that other than going, oh my God, why am I stopped? Like, I was about to crash, but I didn't crash. Like, I do not understand why I'm crashed. Like, I'm stopped. Yeah. So I undid the belts, and I'm trying to figure out why it's so hard to breathe. Like, my whole body is under stress. I'm like, this is just not making sense. Well, it's all starting to kind of come to me, right? And I stand up in the seat, and Dave, the crew chief, is sitting in front of the car, and I said, what happened? Did I crash? And he was like, dude, you just went big, like big. And I was like, and then I was looking over the car, and I'm like, oh my God, Jerry's car is destroyed. And Jerry's probably listening right now, because his girlfriend texted me, so I haven't even read her text. By the way, Brittany, I haven't read it, but I saw that you texted me. But I was like, oh my God, Jerry's car is junked. So then they take my helmet off, and they start telling me that my forehead has been growing since I took my helmet off, and that I need to go to the hospital. And I was like, man, that sounds really expensive. I really don't want to go to the hospital. But so then they got me scared. I'm thinking, like, man, I'm gonna have to get like these brain surgeries and stuff tonight. Like, this is not gonna be good. I get in the ambulance, and we take off, and we spent, I don't know, until 4:00 in the morning there, just for them to tell me, oh, everything's good. And then I went up, since we were in Bloomington. Steve and Sarah were nice enough. They said, hey, why don't you just stay at our house in Bedford tonight, and we'll take you to the truck and trailer tomorrow, and we'll get that squared away. But I did have to go to the doctor and get or not the doctor, but CVS or Walgreens, whatever it was, to get some sort of medication I was definitely concussed, because I felt like I was going to puke in the morning. I couldn't even stand up straight, and things were kind of dizzy, but that was definitely the biggest ride that I had taken yet. That was a bad one. But there is something good to that story. So Dave, the crew chief, he also owns his own car, and he had Jeff Ensign in his car. Ensign, however you might say it. But anyway, so he had Jeff in his car, and while we were in the hospital, we were watching my race pass, and Jeff wound up winning the Burton Memorial, which pays $13,000 to win. So that was really cool. And Dave was planning on. Dave's not a drinker, but Dave said, "Man, I'm having a damn good time tonight. I'm telling you that right now." And he brought a 12 pack. Imagine that, right?
Yep.
Like he was ready to get down. He was going to drink some beers, and he was going to have a damn good night. Well, his wife went to the hospital with me, along with Steve and Sarah. They both went to all three of them went to the hospital, and I'm very grateful for that, because I had nobody else. And so she she rode to the racetrack with Dave. So she's like, "Hey, Dave, you're gonna have to come pick me up. Like, we're glad that you won and all, but you're gonna have to come pick me up." And he thought, "Are you kidding me? Shipley is a total boner shrinker. I just won the Burton Memorial. I was trying to have a good time. I work all the damn time, work on my race car. I want to catch a little buzz, and here I am
Now
I gotta go to the
get my
hospital to pick my wife up.
Damn it,
Yeah,
Kyle.
he's like, I can't even drink now, you know? He's like, you ruined it all, Shipley. But no, that was, Jerry giving me that opportunity was huge. And, it's built a friendship like no other. I mean, I've always, since I moved back here, I've been friends with Jerry, but, I feel like after that night, we became a lot closer, and Jerry's come to the races and helped me on my car, all of 2025 after that. And just, if you guys ever get a chance to meet Jerry Burton, please do. He is one hell of a guy, and he's lived a life.
You bet.
Let's try and get him on the show, bud.
Yep.
You know what? He'd be great. You guys would love it if you had him on the show.
Well, if you talk to him sometime, mention it to him. See if he's interested.
Yeah, he might be listening right now, so I'll say something to him.
Okay. Yeah. I got to make one. We got one more comment. Brady Grafing commented. And
who was it?
He works with Jody Roseboom down at the shootout or at the Chili
Oh,
Bowl.
okay.
He says, "Hey guys, start driving. Tulsa isn't that far away." I don't know if he's listening or if his wife or who's listening, but how are the chain sales going, by the way, Brady? If you're still listening.
Yeah. No kidding.
So, but
should we hit the rapid fire?
I think we better hit the rapid fire. We better have him back.
Yeah, we'll have him back on sometime. This is awesome.
Hey, I'm sorry that I get a little bit long-winded.
No. That is not a problem. This, like I said, you're willing to come back on. We'll do this again in a month or two or something.
Yep.
Well, hey, I'm shooting to be the most listened to, just like I was on that other podcast I was. But I'm shooting for 2026 this time.
We keep doing enough shows, you'll be the most listened to because they'll listen each time. We'll just keep adding her up.
Yeah, there you go. They're gonna force me to be the most listened to.
What's your favorite kind of ice cream?
I've never had ice cream in my life because I'm deathly allergic to all dairy products.
Well, there you go. That makes it easy.
Yep. Sucks, but it makes it easy.
It sucks.
Yep. You can't even have a cheeseburger.
I cannot have a cheeseburger. I can have a hamburger, but not a cheeseburger.
Damn.
Just think about my poor mom. She had to cook for me for all those years.
With no dairy.
And couldn't put cheese in anything. No dairy. No nothing dairy.
You can't even make a hamburger helper because you're supposed to put milk in hamburger helper.
Nope, we did not have hamburger helper.
Yep. Cat or a dog person?
Dog. For sure, dog.
You got one?
I did. He was my best friend. He actually moved out here with me from Arizona.
Okay.
But he's since passed.
Yep.
Do you have
boxer?
Okay. Do you have any hobbies other than racing?
No. And that gets talked about a lot because people ask me, "Oh, we watch this show. You should watch this show, or you should do this, or you should do that." And we should go to this concert. We should go here. And I'm like, I can't. I'd love to, but I can't. Yeah. So I mean, if I get the opportunity to go to the lake or whatever, or a concert or something along those lines, I mean, yes, I enjoy that, but literally my life revolves around racing. It's all racing.
Yep. We did one more comment. Charles Hamilton said something about a Mick Ultra, so.
Well, I mean, I do like my Mick Ultras, and Chuck helped me during sprint week, and if it weren't for Chuck, I don't know if I would have made it through sprint week. I mean, I had help, but the day work, other than going to the racetrack, was me and Chuck.
Yep.
Steve and Sarah came over 1 or 2 days, anyways, during sprint week. But yeah, Chuck was with me from the very start of sprint week in 2025 all the way to the very, very end. And Chuck let me stay in his motorhome, so that saved me a ton on hotel bills.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck's the man. Chuck's awesome.
Yeah. Anytime you do a speed week, a sprint week, anytime they start talking weeks, that's a grind. Yeah. When you're racing
it was so
6
hot
nights
this year
out of
too.
7 or something, or whatever, and some of them are worse than that. But
yeah, it was so hot this year. It was so hot. I mean, I'm surprised that Chuck toughed it out because, it was miserable. But yeah, no, old Chucky, he's awesome.
My turn. How about a favorite movie?
That goes right there along with,
Don't do nothing. Race.
I, no, if the TV's on, it's on Flow or Search Finish
Yep.
or Dirt Vision. One of those. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I'll turn on like some football on a Sunday, but that usually is off season time. So like that'll be a once in a while kind of deal. But yeah. So rapidly fire the question. I don't even know what show I would answer that with. I like documentaries and real stuff. We'll put it that way.
Yep.
You bet.
History Channel, Discovery Channel.
There you go. Yeah.
Do you prefer snow or rain?
Snow.
Okay.
Snow, because from being from Arizona, we never, ever, ever got snow. Well, Phoenix.
Yep.
And, so it's still kind of new to me. So yeah, snow.
Well, we'd tell you to come up here, but we don't have any right now either.
Oh,
so
that's freaking awesome.
it's been a pretty good winter. If
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna be,
want to go skiing or something.
oh, well, I've never done that either. So, if you were going to be stranded on an island, what album or what type of music would you have to have along to listen to?
Red Dirt Country.
There you go.
Yeah, I cannot get enough of that.
Where is your favorite place to go out to eat?
Anywhere with chicken wings. So like my go-to is Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
But I try to stay away from the chain places if I can, because my goal is to try chicken wings from every single restaurant in this country that serves chicken wings. So I kind of like sports bars, if you will. Like
Yep.
I'd love to just go to like a mom and pop sports bar and
Them are the best.
chicken wings for sure.
That's a pretty high bar you set though to try every restaurant that serves chicken wings.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen, but it's I'm going to try them all as much as I can.
Well, what's the old saying? You shoot for the moon, you can always land among the stars or something. So.
Yep, hey, I'm at least going for the stars.
Yep. How about a favorite holiday? You got one of them?
Man, I'm kind of torn between Thanksgiving, 4th of July, and Christmas.
Okay.
I don't know which one I like better. Thanksgiving, things are done racing, so you kind of like get to catch your breath a little bit.
Sure.
But 4th of July, I mean, if that doesn't make you just feel proud to be an American, I don't know what there is.
Yeah.
And then Christmas, I mean, it's just you get gifts and you get to give gifts and all that stuff. So I'm kind of torn between those three. So if I had to choose, let's just go with Thanksgiving because it's right there in the middle.
Sure.
All right. How many speeding tickets do you have?
You'd be shocked. This is not going to be rapid, just so you know. So, I probably only have like one or two really since I turned 16. But when I moved to Indiana, the first 6 months I lived here, I got pulled over 4 times. And I couldn't figure out what it was. I mean, now I did drive I own this junky. It's not junk. It looks junky.
Yeah.
Steve Porzio can attest to this. This junky Scion XB. Okay, I bought it when I was in Arizona, and it had kind of low mileage, but I needed a beater with a heater.
Yep.
And it is still my beater with a heater, but I do have a Jetta that gets way better gas mileage now for my beater with a heater. But anyways, when I moved here, I kept getting pulled over, and one time I got pulled over because the cop thought that my tint was too dark, and then he said, well, now that I'm closer, I can tell that your tint's not too dark. But he still tested anyways. And I was like, man, these guys are searching, you know? Well, I think the reason why I was getting pulled over was based on looks of the Scion. So, but 0 tickets since I've been in Indiana. So that's been 5 years.
Hey,
That's good.
the old beater with a heater. I got one of them. I drive her to work every day. The little S10. The other day I had to tie my back bumper on with ratchet straps. It's rusting off. So
Well, and you're probably tight like me because I got to save every dollar I can so that we can make sure that we're racing.
but
And I'm saving all the gas money I can.
it's got a hell of a heater and a really good air conditioner. So I'm good.
That's all you need. That's literally all I'm after. That's all I'm after.
So in regards to the speeding tickets, which you've done really well with, what's the fastest you've ever driven down the highway or say ridden with somebody going down the highway?
I want to say I did like 125. I was about 19 years old and bought a crotch rocket and decided I would take it as fast as I could to show off for this girl that was on the crotch rocket with me.
Oh my gosh.
Well, she was holding on, I bet, at that point.
Yeah, she was holding on, but I was wise enough that I gave her the helmet and, the safety gear. But
you were the gentleman come out in you there.
no, yeah, the gentleman in me.
Yeah.
I'm doing $125 with her on the back. What a gentleman, right? I actually sold that motorcycle maybe a week after that because I wasn't scared of it, and I knew it was going to get me in deep trouble.
Yep.
And I knew that was stupid what I did.
So,
I'm going to say like $125, and it was right there in the middle of Phoenix.
I have to ask though, was she impressed or did she never see you again?
I did not see her after that.
Yeah.
Well, I did. It just didn't go anywhere. It was not good.
She
I did
wasn't
not
impressed.
Yeah.
She was not impressed. Maybe I should have won $130.
I got zero desire to go $125 on a damn motorcycle. I ride cycle, but I ain't going that damn fast.
Well, see, people always want me to go like on roller coasters. They want to go to Kings Island or these places, which I'm never gonna have time for, anyways. But nothing about riding a roller coaster sounds appealing to me. It doesn't, and I'm not trying to scare the shit out of myself. But everybody that is like a roller coaster enthusiast, they're like, "You race sprint cars and you won't ride roller coasters?" And I'm thinking, no, like nothing about that appeals to me. Like, and they really find that hard to believe that I'm not a roller coaster enthusiast.
Yeah. Well, I've only ever ridden 2 of them.
I've ridden a couple, and every time I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I don't like heights, so when I drop over the edge, I'm like, can't breathe.
I don't like heights, and I don't want to go upside down. Yeah. My goal is to not go upside down.
Going upside down is bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your favorite drink or go-to beverage?
Red Bull, sugar-free, original, like the original kind. No, like fruity flavors. I drink about 2 of those a day.
Ooh.
And then when it's time to wind down, I can get down on either a Miller Lite or a Michelob Ultra or the MGD 64. I think they call it. What do they call it? Miller Extra Light.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've kind of been a fan of here lately because got to stay slim and trim for this racing deal.
Yeah, we're not sure about that because we drink Diet Coke and Pepsi, and nobody in the garage with us drinks that beer either. So we're what are we? Busch Light and Keystone Light and Miller Light.
Yeah, Miller.
Coke Zero is probably my soda that I'll go to.
There you go.
No,
I do like a good Coke Zero. In fact, Dave, the crew chief, he does not like the way I pack a cooler because there's nothing with sugar in it other than, so he drinks regular Red Bull, like just the standard, like full on sugar, fully leaded. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I cannot do that. No. So I'll get him like a 4-pack. Well, that's not enough. And then everything else is like, Gatorade, the Gatorade Zero, Coke Zero, water. And he's like, dude, we got to get something good in there. Like, we got to get some sugar.
Last week, I had a physical last Friday, my yearly physical. I was drinking Pepsi to beat hell because I just bought 2 24-packs. I said, I better drink this before the doctor tells me I can't drink pop anymore. But he didn't say nothing, so I can keep drinking.
What? I like that.
Yep. Last one here before we let you go, and then we'll have to come up with new questions for the next time we have you on, maybe. But
yeah, do that.
Say you just won the Mega Millions that went out the other day for that 1.8 billion or whatever it was. Is there a car, a boat, a pickup, a toter? Is there something you've always wanted that you just you can't afford?
Yeah. It's called a high limit race team, and I'm talking the truck, the trailer, the engines,
Yep.
the cars. I mean, all of it. I want that's exactly what I would do in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't go buy some island. I wouldn't go on some. I'd probably go on some exotic vacation in the meantime, but that would my number one priority would be the race, like a full blown best of the best. Like I'm talking a Keith Coons or a Chad Boat or David Gravel or any of those top teams. I want to have better than what Kyle Larson has. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm talking everything from the truck to the trailer.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to be living in luxury. If I stay in the toter home, if I don't stay in the toter home, we're staying in some nice hotels because I've been in some dumps, especially when I raced for the 17 GP. We stayed in some real dumps. So yeah, I'm going to be living luxurious.
Yep.
There you go.
Like I'm going to get pampered.
We've always discussed it too, and we would not own a racetrack and we would not own a race team, but we would have Hoagie's Garage on a lot of different things. Just sponsor, just write a check. And,
Yeah.
Motors.
Yep. Just write
Yeah,
checks.
you guys would be like what Avanti is today.
Yeah.
Where it's on every single
Yep.
race car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something along that
We
line.
need to get them to be a sponsor of our show.
There you go.
I just don't know who to talk to. So
Jerry Petty's your guy. Jerry Petty's the man.
there
Jerry
you go.
Petty. I'll write that down, bud, so you remember.
If you can't get to Jerry Petty, then look up Billy Van Meter because that's who got him in with, it all started with JJ Yaley. In fact, or call Lance with Lifestyle Homes because they're buddies now too. So hit them up.
Well,
Get them going.
you bet. You bet. So, hey, this has been an absolute blast, Kyle.
Yep.
And we really appreciate your time. And we will definitely have you on again. I don't know when, but we'll definitely set up another time because, yeah, I don't think we've even covered half of it. So,
We ain't even got into
No, I'm with you guys.
now.
Thank you.
yeah, we don't even know what you're doing yet this year.
So we're going to have to get you back on before the season starts too hard.
Okay, how about we set it for March? How about we get me in there sometime in March?
write that down.
Mark,
We'll
we'll
get
get
you
it
down.
done.
We'll get you down. So,
Awesome, dudes. I really appreciate you guys.
And
You
I
bet.
want to give one more shout out to Steve for getting us hooked up with Kyle.
absolutely.
'Cause we really appreciate
Steve
it.
is my guy.
I
Steve
told him
is the guy. He's the
Anybody
man.
who knows that he wants us to interview, just keep sending him because it makes Bud's job a lot easier.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
this is, it's an area that we haven't done a ton of. I
No.
mean, Indiana and stuff like that.
Well,
So,
we haven't done, we don't do a lot. We don't go do the wingless races much if they're not in our area.
yeah,
And, we talk to the guys at the track is what we try to do.
absolutely.
So,
Well, hey, I know we're trying to wrap things up, but can you guys put in a good word to Houston Speedway? It doesn't have to be USAC sanctioned. Can you guys try to get us a non-wing event there? Because I promise you, I will be there. And by the way, Steve supplies me with a fuel card, and I promise you, Steve will allow me to go. And I haven't asked him, but I can assure you, I shouldn't say I can assure you, but I would put money on it. Steve would let me go.
Yeah. Well,
I want to go there.
and if that was the case, we would have a place for you to stay. We're 20 minutes
Oh,
away.
that-
So my
Heck,
house
that's even better.
would be available. So,
we'll put in,
All
we'll put in
right.
a word with Doug. We'll put a bug in his ear and see what happens. But we ain't got a lot of pull, you realize. I'm a push truck driver and we do a podcast, so we're not real important in the world. But
Hey, one more thing also. I want to give a big shout out to all the push truck drivers across America because we need you guys. We love you guys. And I don't want to put starters in these damn sprint cars. And we appreciate you guys coming out. And I hope that you guys are having a blast.
oh,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate that, and the rest of them do too, I'm sure. And I have a blast every night I'm there. So
yep, absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks again, Kyle.
Well, hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I
take care.
appreciate it.
All right. See ya.
Okay. Talk to you in March.
Yep.
sounds good.
Bye.
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 Better make sure I get him on again. Get him on again.